Hello everyone, my name's Jackie Blakemore from So Much More Fun, and today I wanted to talk to you about how to create a digital inventory of your wardrobe. So in a recent episode of our So Mindful podcast, episode 4, I was speaking with Maria Bello about how to detox your wardrobe. And one of the aspects of that was to then be able to take an inventory of the clothes that you have left so that you can work out what's missing or where there are gaps, and also so you can have a broader view of what you've got available to you to create your outfits. So we talked in the episode about how draining it can be to have a wardrobe that's not really working for you. When you open your wardrobe in the morning and you take time and energy to be able to rule out lots of different clothes that either are too small or too big or don't fit the lifestyle, what you're going to be doing on that day. And so she gave some tips in that episode about how to clear out your wardrobe so that for the things that aren't the right colours for you, or the things that aren't the right style personality for you, or the things that aren't serving your lifestyle, so how you can kind of get rid of those and just be left with the ideal items that you're going to be able to create your garments and your outfits from. So we gave you a paper-based inventory to get you started, but today I wanted to talk about how you could do that digitally so that you can have a bit more flexibility, and there's a few more features that you can do in the digital world that you can't do as easily in the paper-based world. So I just want to check in with you on a scale of 1 to 10. How confident do you currently feel about how well you know your wardrobe and how well you know what you've got in there, and how well that's serving your lifestyle in proportion to how many of your garments are for kind of casual activities, how many are for dressy activities, how many are for work, and are those proportions the same as the amount of time you spend in those aspects of your life? So on the scale of 1 to 10, where 1 is I haven't got a clue, it's very much a lucky dip when I open the wardrobe, I kind of reach in and hope for the best, versus 10, which is, yep, I know where everything is, it's all organised and I know what I'm doing. Where are you? Now there's no right or wrong answer to this question, it's just your starting point, so it just kind of gives you a sense of where you are now. And I have to be honest that for me, even up till very recently, I was quite low on that scale. I felt really frustrated with my wardrobe. I found it really difficult to make outfits in the morning, and it was taking me a lot of time and energy just to get dressed, which then kind of takes away from the rest of your day and makes you feel like everything's a compromise. You're kind of not picking the outfits that you really want or wearing the things that you really want to express yourself. So my aim in this video is to take you from where you are now to being a 10, or as close to a 10 as you can get. And so these tips will hopefully help give you some tools that will make that process easier for analysing your own wardrobe. So what if you could have a complete view of everything in your wardrobe available to you on your laptop or on your mobile phone? And then have a way of using that to spot any gaps in your wardrobe in terms of your lifestyle or the style that you want to represent. And what if you could be completely confident each day that whatever you picked out was exactly right for what you needed that day and was going to make you feel amazing? And what if when you did shop for clothes, you were really confident that you knew what you were looking for, you knew it was going to go with everything else in your wardrobe, and you knew you were going to be able to make multiple outfits together with that new garment? How would that change how you feel about dressing in the morning? How would that change about how much money you spend on your clothes? How would that change how you feel about what's in your wardrobe and how confident you feel that you can match everything that you need to your activities? Now, it can seem like a really big job to take an inventory, particularly if you've got more than 10 garments. And if you've ever tried it before, it can be time consuming and it can take some effort. But I promise you that it really is worth it. Now, you might be thinking, I've got no idea where to start. I don't really know how to put the things together, and I don't know what tools to use. You might also be thinking, Jackie, look, I'm no good with technology. I can't even take a selfie and get myself in it. So I'm not going to lie, to do this is going to take some time and effort. But imagine how it would feel if you woke up in the morning and opened a wardrobe that just delighted you, that getting dressed became exciting rather than a chore, and that you always felt fabulous in everything that you were wearing, getting compliments left, right and centre. So the solution I'm going to tell you about involves using your mobile phone or a digital camera and an application called Trello that works both on your mobile phone and on your computer. And the process consists of taking 4 steps. So the first is take photos of all your clothes. The second is create a card for them in Trello and link the photo to the card. The third step is to then categorise the cards. And the fourth step is then to connect them together so that you can create different outfits and you can see where the gaps are and what goes with what. So this is the end goal. This is a view of my Trello account, and in here I have a board for all of my clothes. And you can see I've got a mix and match of photos in here, and at the top we've got some different categories that describe what I would wear that garment for. So I'm going to take you through step by step how you can create your own version of that with all of your own garments. Now if you haven't done the wardrobe detox, don't worry, you can still get started today. And I'd recommend starting by just allocating a certain amount of time and maybe just focus on the first 10 garments in your wardrobe, because it can be a bit overwhelming if you think I've got to do everything and I've got to do it all in one go. And that would have put me off, I think, if I'd had to do it that way. So I broke mine down into doing it in several small sessions, and I just put a bit of time aside, took the photos, put them into Trello, categorised them, and then moved on to the next batch. And in doing that, you might find that it does help with your detox process, because as you're pulling things out, you're thinking, actually, do I really want to keep this, or is this really right for me? So you can use the kind of two in conjunction. Okay, so the best way to start taking the photos is, the easiest way is to put the clothes on the hangers, and as you saw in some of my pictures, I just put them on the back of the door and just photographed them. Now I have to say, when I first started this process, I did get a bit hung up about trying to take the backgrounds off and doing all kind of fancy stuff with the images, but really you don't have to do any of that. So you can see here I've just taken some photos and then transferred them onto my computer. So in these photos I've just put the clothes on the hangers and then hung them on the back of my wardrobe door in this case. So it hasn't got to be anything fancy, so don't kind of get hung up about that. Just think about the quickest and easiest way to get started. Now, if you're taking the photos on your mobile phone, then the easiest way I found to transfer them is to use Google Photos. So my phone automatically puts all my photos into Google Photos. And if you haven't got that already set up, then that's something that you could have a look at. So if you've got a Gmail account, or if you haven't already got a Gmail account, you can sign up for one. And as part of your Gmail account, then you also get access to store your photos online through Google Photos. You could also do it using Dropbox or Google Drive, or any of those kind of applications where you can transfer from your phone up to the cloud, and then from the cloud back down to your laptop. Equally, you could just email them to yourself. Simplest form is take the photo on your phone. If you've got an email app on your phone, email it to yourself and then pick it up on your laptop. So don't let those things kind of get in the way of it. Just do your best to get them onto your laptop. Mainly because I just found it easier on the laptop to get them onto Trello, because it's easier to kind of copy and paste and set the images up. So this is a image from my Google Photos, and in here you'll just see here's all the pictures, and as I said, I've just taken photos from the hangers on the back of the door in my bedroom. And then from Google Photos, the way that you can download them is if you select the image. So let's say I choose these three here, and then if you use the three dots button at the top, choose download, and then it will ask you where you want to save them, or it will save it to your downloads, and then just choose a folder. So I've got a clothes folder here. Now in this case it's going to save them as a zip file, and I'll show you what to do with that. So it's going to save those all in one zip file, and then if I double click to open that, I can highlight all of those photos, copy them, and then paste them in my folder. And now you can see I've got my 3 garments here ready to go. So to get started in Trello, what you want to do is go to trello.com, Trello.com. And that will bring you into this window. Now if you don't already have an account in Trello, then you can easily set one up, and it's free to do. So all you need to do is go to the sign up option here, or you can just put your email address in on this screen here, and then you can sign up for free. It will ask you for your details, and it will ask you to set up a password, and then it will ask you a few more questions and guide you through the process. Okay, so when you've entered your email address and you've created a password, then it's going to guide you through the steps of creating your first board. So the structure of Trello is that you can have as many boards as you like. So you have a board, and then within there you have a number of categories, And then for each category you create a number of cards, and you can move cards between categories, and on the card you can have a photo and a description and a checklist and some other things. So it's going to guide us through that process here. So I'm just going to give you an example of how you can set this up to start with. So for your first one, so we're going to do things from our wardrobe. So what it's asking here is, what do we want to call the board? And you can use other boards, and I'm going to cover those in other videos. But in this case, we're just going to call the board our wardrobe. So I'm going to type in wardrobe. Okay, and now here are the categories of the things that we're going to set up. Now, the way that I configured mine, I don't know if you remember seeing that, but I had the different aspects of my lifestyle as my groupings. Now, you can play with whatever works for you, but I'm going to set this one up similar to the one I had. So let's say that we've got casual clothes, then we've got dressy clothes, and then we've got maybe work clothes, and that can get us started. And then within the cards that we're going to create, so it asks you for some sample cards to set up within your first list, the casual list. So you might have, let's say you've got a photo of, so we had that little jacket, so I'm going to put a teal jersey cardigan, and then I've got a brown jersey cardigan, and then maybe I've got pink floral dress, whatever it is you've taken your first photos of. Okay, and then it comes up with a checklist so that you can add checklists to your cards, but we don't need to do that. We're not going to use that just yet, so we're just going to ignore that and we're just going to move on. So now it says you're ready to get started. Okay, so you can click get going. And you can see now that it's created our board. So our board is called wardrobe, that's here at the top. And then you can see that where we entered teal jersey cardigan, brown jersey cardigan, pink floral dress and so on, it's added those cards for us to get us started. So the next step that we're going to do is we're going to link the photos that we took to these cards. So I'm going to click in here to edit the card. So if I click on the title of the card, it opens up more details. And this is where you can put your description, you can create an activity log, you can give it labels and so on. So we're going to look at ways that we can do that. So we're going to add an attachment in the first instance, and this is where we can link our photo. So if you browse on your computer to where the photos are, so if I go to my pictures, clothes, this is my teal cardigan, and you'll see it creates that as the image, as the kind of cover image for the card. So I could put more of a description in here if I wanted to add that, but one of the other things that I want to do is I want to create a label for this. So I'm going to set up some labels here. So this is, and in here I want to label this as a, I'm going to edit that, and I'm going to call this a jacket for now. So I've chosen a colour and I'm just going to save that. And so when I come back in here again, then I'll be able to label other jackets as jackets, and then I'll be able to kind of see how many jackets I've got. Okay, and so that's the first thing that we're going to do. So I'm going to close that now. And you can see now you've got a visual representation, and you can see that it's a jacket, and I'll show you how you can search on those later on. Okay, so the next one I'm going to do is my pink dress. So I'm just going to click on there. Just going to move my little icon here so I can click on pink floral dress. And again, I'm just going to do the same again. So we're going to go to attachment. I'm going to go to computer to choose my image. I'm going to go to my, I didn't put my pink floral dress on here. Let's put this one on, my dress. So it's copied my dress. And then I can change at this point if I realise I've got the description wrong, so I can put navy and pink floral dress, so I can edit that here. I can type more details in here if I want to, and I'm going to label this one, label this as a dress. Okay, we're done. So you just go on adding all of your items. So you should end up, after your first batch, you'll have your 10 photos, you'll be able to create your 10 items, and I'll show you how to add another card manually in here in a second. And you can start to put them all in here. Now, this dress is actually, I don't wear this as a casual dress, I wear this for work. So I can move this card if I scroll down. So I can just drag this card and move it into my work column. Can you see? So nice and easy. So you just literally click on it and drag it to wherever you want it to be. Now let's say you wanted to add more categories here. So let's say we wanted one for like athleisure or exercise. So kind of like my super casual or my super sporty type exercise, if I can spell that. So I can add that here. I could also add one for kind of smart casual, maybe, if you have that kind of event in your life, or dog walking, or whatever, hiking, whatever it is that you need categories for. So you can set those up. So quite easy. You just keep adding as many as you want. If you want to change the order of these, so let's say I wanted to put my work ones first because they were the ones I was most interested in. You just grab the top heading and you can move the whole column over. And then let's say I wanted to change the order in here, so I could just drag this card up or down, and it will move the order within the list. So super easy, literally just drag and drop and you're sorted. So let's say I wanted to add another work outfit or a work garment. I can click here to add another card and I can give it a title. So let's say I was going to put in my white linen shirt. Press enter, and then if I click on it, it gives me the option then to do what we did before. So I'm going to add my attachment, go to my computer, pick my white linen shirt, I'm going to put that in my labels. So I haven't got a label for tops yet, so I'm going to create one for tops. Again, you could call it shirts if you want to distinguish, it's up to you. So I can choose that, it's tops. And that's it, so we can close that. And I've just spotted actually that on my dress I didn't choose my label. Right, so in here as well, there's a kind of quick link to edit, so you can just click on the edit pencil without opening the whole card up, and you can do some things from here. So I can edit the label and just choose dress here if I want to do that. So nice and straightforward. Or you can just click on the picture of the card and it will open the whole card up for you. So the last thing I just want to show you in here is how you can link garments together. So let's say that I know that this teal cardigan goes nicely with this navy dress. Then I can put a link to another, so I can do an attachment in Trello to another card. So I know it's appearing in the list because I've only just recently added it, but if I choose my teal jersey cardigan, then that shows up in my attachments. And so when I come here, I can then start to see, oh yeah, I've already got a jacket that goes with this dress, or whatever you want to set up. And you can have as many links to connect cards together, and you can choose to connect it both ways. So if I choose connect cards and relate them both together, then what will happen is when I look at my teal jacket, you can see it's already linked it to the navy dress. So again, just useful in terms of working out how many things a garment goes with. So you know, we talked about having a coordinated wardrobe and being able to wear garments with multiple other things. This is a way that you can sense check which garments are working for you and which ones aren't. You can also sort them by colour. So again, if you had all your dresses in here and then, excuse me, or you could put everything that's navy or everything that's white or everything that's whatever kind of colour scheme that you want. So you can really choose how you want to do that. And then once you've got all of your items in here, the other thing that you can do then, you'll start to see how many items that you have in each category, which is great. So you can spot if there are any gaps. But also you can have a look and say, show me all of my tops or show me all of my dresses, and you can kind of see them across all your categories. So if I do show menu here, then you can search the cards and you can search them by the categories. So you can say, show me all my dresses, and then it will filter and just show you all the dresses. So if I had dresses in other categories, then again it would show me the results here. So if I do that in my one, So if I just do show menu and search cards, and then say show me all my jackets, then you can see it filters out, and I've got no jackets in these two categories. So I've got quite a few in my casual, or 2 in my casual. I've got quite a lot in my business, my kind of work wear, and nothing in my dressy, and then not much in my dressy one either. So you can start to see that actually I might struggle if I'm going out kind of dressy casual, then I might struggle for a jacket. So I might be wanting to think about what outerwear am I going to wear for if I'm wearing those outfits. So hopefully you can see now that tool is super useful. It's really easy to use. Just take your photos, transfer them to your laptop, get them onto the cards, and then link all the cards up, and then you can start to search and filter. And as you buy new garments, or as you get rid of garments, then you can just keep that up to date and keep refining it. And it will help you spot trends, it will help you spot gaps, it will help you see how flexible a particular garment is, how many things it goes with, how many outfits you can create. In mine I've also added my shoes, although I haven't put photos in there of those yet. But again, quite useful for just kind of saying, actually these boots go with these 3 pairs of trousers, and so on. So, and if you want to take a picture of the whole outfit, so you'll have seen in one of mine I've got a dress with a little jacket, you can put that same image against 2 different cards and have one flagging it for the jacket and one flagging it for the dress. But you can also see how it works when they work together. You can link multiple photos to a card as well. So if you want to take photos of yourself in different outfits using that same garment, then you can link more than one photo to a particular card. So you could have your kind of cover image as the garment on its own, and then you could also put photos in of you in other outfits with that garment, and then you could either print those out or use those if you want to kind of in your wardrobe or in the morning, or kind of plan your week or whatever it is that you want to do to help you work out what to wear and how to best use your wardrobe. So I hope you found that useful. I'll put links to the episode for the podcast in the notes. And if you've got any questions or any feedback, then I'd really love to hear from you. So I'll also put a link to our Facebook group, So Much More Fun Facebook group. And it would be great to hear kind of how you got on, and maybe show me some photos or screenshots of things that you've done and how you're using it. So thanks very much. Get on with it, get out there, take some photos and get it done. Bye for now.